Mr. Reed here. This is part 2, broadcasting from Kratomville. I forgot to touch on the subject of how we diagnose mental patients. This video may be very short because I don't want to get into what I know about psychology at the moment, because I don't see a board of directors from the American Psychiatric Association knocking on my door. Depression is a very easy thing to notice. Most people will admit they're depressed if you ask. Anxiety is very easy to notice. People will admit when they have anxiety, and both of those would be true. Schizophrenia and bipolar, on the other hand, you need to be doing hormone level testings through the blood and the urine. You know why? Because I did it, and they were wrong. I was born with a rare eye disease called dissociated vertical deviance. The older I got, the more it caused me to hallucinate. When I hit puberty, it got really, really, really bad. When I started doing hallucinogens, it got really, really, really bad. When I finally got locked up at age 18, they told me I was schizophrenic and bipolar, otherwise known as schizoaffective. I told them that I was just thinking, and they were telling me, you can't say weird things. So for 5 years, I argued with them, telling them I was just thinking. God gave me these thoughts to say weird things. He was trying to tell me to organize something. Or the creator of the universe was telling me I had a message to tell people. I don't know. So when I turned 21, I had already been married for a year, and I gave up telling them because they weren't arguing with me. I told them the medication was not working. It wasn't changing my thoughts. All it was doing was knocking my consciousness down just enough so I felt like a zombie and I slept all the time. So I turned into an alcoholic. When I was 21, I was married, and I supposedly abused my ex-wife when I was blacked out. But I was blacked out, I don't know. Went on for 6 years. I blacked out every weekend for 6 years. I remember one incident of kicking her in the crotch, and I got arrested for it. And then there was one little quick flash of me and her in the bathroom, and I was pulling her up off the floor or something. I don't know. The rest of it, I don't remember doing anything. So I don't know if it did or did not happen. I have no clue. Maybe. If it did, I'm sorry. I don't know. That was an unconscious decision. Plus, it didn't help that I had cracked my skull open at age 2, and sometimes I don't know how I think I want to talk, so I pause, and then it might cause people to feel uncomfortable, and then they get creeped out, and I can feel their emotions, so it's like, damn. And it didn't help that also I was born left eye dominant, but I put a firecracker in a Roman candle. It didn't go off, so I stuck my left eyeball down in there to look, and it blew up near my eye. And my parents, well, my father's my stepfather, my dad is my biological dad. There's certain names we have to talk about when we're talking about parents or people that are raising us. If your dad is really a piece of crap, then he'd be a sperm donor. But who's to say psychiatry didn't fail him? If psychiatry is failing all these men that are supposedly bad fathers, who's to blame? So my father and my mother, my brother Matt was with me there. I don't know what he was doing. We had just got back from driving our bikes down this really, really steep hill where I was wearing a Michael Jackson Just Beat It light sky blue tank top. I was 7, and it said Just Beat It in pink. Well, my chain came off my BMX bike, and I ended up hitting the curb and flying up into the air and busting up my arm, so I had to take my tank top off and tie it around my arm while it was bloody. So I ended up going to the fireworks store, bought my fireworks, and then later that day, when I got back home, I ended up blowing my eye up, and then my father and my mom, well, my mother, because that's respect, mother. Mom would be a stepmom. And I'm not getting into details about, oh, well, what if it's a bad one? Well, that's not my business. I don't have bad people in my life. And if I do, I understand it's because psychiatry failed them. Society failed them, and that's why they're bad. Something happened. It wasn't their fault. Something happened along the lines that made them snap. Mental illness went too far. Somebody should be helping these people psychologically, instead of all the stuff you're putting on the media now, which is apparently not helping anyone. So my father and my mother ended up rushing me upstairs underneath the sink. They literally held my eye open and poured water in my eye, cold water, from this kitchen sink. So I'm up on the kitchen counter, hanging my feet over, probably flailing my arms and legs. And for 15 minutes, I had water rushing straight into my eye. They took me to the Children's Omaha Hospital in Nebraska. They put an eye patch over my eye, and this was 1990. Like I was 7. They didn't have a lot of the technological advances in medicine that they do then. So they didn't even bother to check to see if they could change my eye dominance back. They don't even know what my eye dominance is. So why you're not teaching children what their eye dominance is in school is beyond my understanding. You guys are weird. It's an important thing to know. It's important to know what brains you are. I'm left-brained, but right eye dominant now, because wearing the eye patch from the firecracker accident actually changed my eye dominance to my right. I prefer being left eye dominant, but I can't get what I want unless I take a thumbtack and poke out my right eyeball where the black part is, the pupil. I have to poke my pupil out in order to be able to be left eye dominant again, which may or may not happen by the time I'm 40. So on my 40th birthday, if I'm not happy, it's coming out and I'm going home. So I gave up talking to him. I said, nope, fine, I'm okay. You know why I was okay? Because I was drinking lots of liquor. Every day almost. And even when I was sober, I wasn't conscious because I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. And they were telling me what they thought it was. And I was like, no, they're wrong. So that went on until I got divorced. Me and the ex got a divorce. Blah, 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 blah. It has now been 9 years later. I'm 35. November last year, I had eye surgery on my disassociated vertical deviance with the surgery called strabismus. I woke up mad because it didn't change my eye dominance and started yelling at all the nurses. And they kept saying, oh, it might change tonight while you're sleeping. I was like, I don't believe you. So when I got into the truck of my friend that was driving me home, I noticed I no longer saw yellow haze around everything. That's what my hallucinations were. And I never even knew how to describe what they looked like till they were gone. So it's been 3 months since I've stopped hallucinating. Now, after hallucinating every day naturally for 34 years, I have like so many memories of hallucinations that they're still in my life. It's just I don't see new ones. I can't sue anybody for ruining my life because the doctor that did the surgery said he didn't know me before. We may go try another doctor. I don't know. But what about my kids and my ex-wife? Like, I'm fine now. But my ex-wife and kids' relationship with me is never going to be complete again. It's always going to be me and the kids, and she's not going to be able to stand being around me. And who's to blame? Not me, not her, kind of her. Nobody made her do what she did, but whatever. So, like, I feel the mental hospital that locked me in and out of mental hospitals for 18 years on this planet, where I literally felt all the emotions of every single type of mental patient that exists on planet Earth for those 18 years. And I was subconsciously studying them because it's like their subconscious was my subconscious, because I've had a gift to where I can feel people's emotions. The color orange makes me feel comfortable. You can figure out the rest of what colors make you feel like. Don't go look it up. Ask yourself, man. You need to know a question, ask yourself. Especially if it's a question like that. Like, imaginal psychology has been bridged with modern day psychology, and I did that. And I don't even have an associate's degree because I dropped out a year before I was done with my degree this past month. Imaginal psychology is defined as the soul expresses itself in images. And we're going to pause so I don't have to make a part 3, which probably happened anyways, but whatever. Coming up, farming. Stay tuned for Mr. Reed and his views on farming. Well, we don't play music because I prefer to sit in silence a lot of the time because it's nice and quiet. I don't have to deal with hearing people on the media say a bunch of weird stuff that doesn't make sense. Now I'm back. So farming. I'm going to start with the most obvious. I like going to the bathroom outside because it doesn't get into my water. I don't have to pay people to clean my poop out of their water, so I have more to use. I can dig a half-a-mile hole in my yard and heat it and air condition it so it goes back into the ground. I'm pretty sure a half-a-mile hole would last way long enough. And then we wouldn't have to clean feces out of water anymore. If I'm on a gravel road peeing, you should just leave me alone. If I'm in a dark alley peeing, you should just leave me alone. If I'm peeing right on Main Street with everybody to see, okay, throw me in jail. Don't put me on a sex offender list, though. Who was I having sex with? We're worried about bed bugs. Well, bed bugs used to not be around because there was a chemical that was put on our crops to kill them. But Barack Obama made it illegal to put on crops and instead put it in our cigarettes to make them fire safe. I don't know why we don't just smoke the tobacco leaf by itself. That is weird and harmful. And I cannot imagine there's a logical explanation for why they do so. A cigarette wrapper or a cigarette could be made out of hemp for the paper and the filter, because I believe the filter is made out of plastic, which is oil, and then the cotton can stay there because it's just cotton. I'm not sure if it has fiberglass in it or not. It might to have the ability to form it. I don't know. So besides inhaling the oil and the fiberglass from the cotton and whatever they may or may not put, well, they put bleach in the paper to make it white, because tree paper is not originally white. It's like tan. or beige, whatever name you want to categorize a shade of a color. And then I have no idea besides the bedbug chemical that is put on the tobacco itself. Lighters, weird. I don't know why we're using gas to make a fire. Seems to me like I could just use my toaster or a similar type lighter that's made like a toaster. But I don't have a toaster because for some reason, a guy owes me a toaster and I ain't got it yet. These people are out here smoking dabs, which is THC. But you know how they make it? They tightly pack a glass tube with THC plants, marijuana plants, weed plants. So they pack the weed in this glass tube, and then they pour lighter fluid over it and let it drain, and then it turns into a honey-like substance, and you smoke that. Why are you smoking lighter fluid mixed with THC? That can't be healthy. But what do I know? When we farm, we destroy lots of land so we can farm. And we put lots of chemicals on these crops to keep them from being eaten by bugs. There are more bugs now because you keep putting chemicals in the ground, so it's making them mutated, and they actually are more bugs because now the bugs are no longer wanting to be in the ground because the nutrients that the bugs ate from the ground are no longer there, so they come into the air, and that causes more viruses and diseases to be able to be spread easier. But what do I know? There is lots of snow outside right now. I should go outside and get the snow and use that for my water instead of drinking it. Well, see, I have well water. Well water is the best water you can have. But I still can't imagine there's any better pure, clear water than that comes from snow because it came from the ground and went down and it's pure ice. But what do I know? I'm actually going to do that later. I'm going to go get a cup of snow and I'm going to let it warm up and melt. And then I'm going to drink it. And I bet it's very good. I have a video on here about a formula that I had a vision of. And it's either a formula for light speed or how to make a hydrogen engine work so we can fuel our cars with water. You can literally use the water, and the water will come out the exhaust after it cracks. You can collect the water after it comes out your exhaust and reuse your gas or your water to run your car. So all you would need to do is get enough snow from outside that's pure, put that in your engine, and keep using it over and over and over until it evaporates. And then you just go get more water or snow. But what do I know? In order to figure out this formula, you have to find out what the speed of smell is. If I have some weed in my house and someone's 10 feet away from me smoking it and they blow it out at me, how long does it take that smell to get to me? I don't know how to measure that, but there's got to be a density equation of some sort that will compare the density of the air with the density of the smoke or smell or the chemical compound makeup of whatever else you're smelling, whether it's a key lime pie or not, or a banana pie. It might be different for each individual thing that smells. There might be a different speed or a different formula for each individual smelly thing that smells. But what do I know? Sound can be felt through vibrations. That means sound moves. If sound moves through walls, explain that to me. That means sound moves through light, which is a color spectrum. When we look from behind our eyeballs through them, we see colors of spectrum, particles of colors that move from place to place at any given time. A particle that is in me, the atom with the neuron and the electron that are spinning around so fast that you can't really see it moving, that particle can be in my television in a matter of moments. But I can't see or feel that particle moving over there. But what do I know? We are eating so many pig, cow, chicken, and turkey only on this planet that I'm tired of the same meat that you're eating. You're feeding me to eat. Why do we not have deer farms? I like to prefer to eat beautiful animals. A cow is not a beautiful animal. A turkey is not a beautiful animal. A rabbit, beautiful animal. I'd eat a rabbit. An alligator, beautiful animal. I'd eat any reptile or dinosaur. A reptile is a dinosaur. Get the facts straight. Dinosaurs are not extinct. You guys are lying to us. But what do I know? We have the ability to use all corporate buildings' top roof to grow gardens, but we put rock on them and satellites instead. Why are we not putting gardens during seasons that are allowing us to grow vegetation on top of these corporate buildings to feed our tribes? My town I live in is my tribe. You guys call it a community now. No, I live in the tribe where I live. You want to talk to me? Email me at digitalenvironmentalcommunication.com. Go to my website and go find the link that says contact. You can contact me through there and it'll go to my email. And I will gladly respond to every single person on planet Earth that says something to me in time. I do not want paper mail in the mail. I have enough papers around. I can organize my email a lot better. Did you know colors are made out of certain plants and bug guts? Could you imagine how many colors were not around 2,000 years ago? It was a pretty dull life. If you went back 2,000 years ago, you would be colorblind at night. All you would see is black and grays. Unless you had fire going. Close your eyes. What do you see? Black with gray lines swirling around. Looks like some sort of a tribal tattoo. You want to know what it looks like? Go look at the album Sublime. I'm not sure off the top of my head if it's just a self-titled album called Sublime, but you can Google Sublime and you'll see the black and white picture that I'm talking about on his album cover. Too bad he died from an overdose of whatever he overdosed on. He was a good man. Rest in peace. I gotta go. I got a phone call. I will do a part 3 if needed.